Hello everybody, this is Mr. 3DSWare Review, bringing you the first video of what's going to be a series of 3DS news. Now, this news tidbit might seem small, but it's actually pretty significant. In fact, might be one of the most significant bits of news, because it essentially determines the fate of this channel. Now, Nintendo has registered the name Nintendo 3DSWare in their European databases, and if you check the description of this video, or if you're on my website, then in the article, which, whether you're watching this from the archive or the homepage, it'll have the link there to, the article I'm getting this from. But anyway, they registered the name Nintendo 3DSWare, and, it might as well confirm that there is going to be a 3DS shop with 3DSWare, like the Wii and the DSi, and what I'm going to end up doing is, I will probably still do some DSiWare reviews once the 3DS is out, but frankly I don't even know if they're going to continue making DSiWare. And so for that reason, I'm going to move on to 3DSWare should it exist, which it seems like it's going to. Now, Nintendo is going to release the Nintendo 3DS in still a while. There was like a rumored Japanese release date saying that it's going to be released on November 20th of this year, which, it's a possibility. It's really not that far. It's about 2 months away, and so that's actually pretty close when you think about it. And anyway, there are a few things I think should happen, and honestly things like I feel almost need to happen. Now, first off, it would be very, very nice if somehow through the 3DS you could transfer your DSiWare, or even if there would just be like a, something you'd click in the shop, and that would take you pretty much to the DSi shop on your 3DS, and you could, buy DSiWare like that. That would be great. That would be excellent. If they did that, that would make my day. But, that would be very nice. Also, since we're kind of on the topic of, or rather I am kind of on the topic of combining the shops, it'd be very nice if they made it one pool of points. So rather than with the Wii and DSi, the thing that kind of bothers me is that you can have Wii points and you can have DSi points, and you can't link them together. It would be very, very nice if you could, because I have 200 absolutely worthless Wii points just sitting on my Wii. And they've been sitting there for like a year and a half now. It would be very, very nice if I could use them for something on my Nintendo DSi. So, one pool of points would be much, much more useful. That would be great. Another thing that needs to happen, Nintendo needs to start, publishing 3DSWare from more sources than just a few developers. Now, with DSiWare, you will get, right now we're getting an average of 3 or 4 things a week, at least, per region. At least North America is, anyway. About 3 or 4 every week. So it's not too bad. It's actually pretty good. But what would be really nice is if people could make their own 3DSware. Like with the iPhone and, the whatever at this point. Because there's thousands and thousands of applications and games for that. I believe it's well over 100,000, and there's more and more every single day. And so that would kind of boost popularity of it. Suddenly you wouldn't have just a small selection, because when you think about it, the DSi shop right now has something like maybe 200 to 300 things in the shop. Japan has more, but Japan has maybe 400, let's say. I'm not exactly sure. Which, that is a lot, but in a way that's really not too much at all. When you compare it to what you can get for an iPod, iPod is hundreds and hundreds of times as much, stuff as that. So if they had some kind of program where you could design your own, 3DSware, I think that would be absolutely great. Now, what I believe Apple does is to be in like the program where you can design your own apps and games. It's like $100 a year or something, and then you get all the stuff you need. It's got like a built-in emulator to test it, and there you go. And then you can publish it, and you can choose your own price. Now, I think that would be great for a couple reasons, because you'd have this huge variety of stuff, and at some point, people are bound to make lots of things. And also, like, the amount of developers that have published stuff for Nintendo DSi, I'll estimate is maybe like 40, 50. I'll put it about 50 or so. Now, they can only crank out so much stuff, but if you have lots of people working on stuff, if instead of like 50 developers you have 500 developers, you'll get so much more stuff. You'll get apps that do pretty much everything, all sorts of games, and it'll be great. And what, Nintendo could do it kind of like how Apple does it. Just charge people to be part of the program, and they can determine their own price or something. And, well, there you go. They could even have like a testers program where people could sign up to be like possibly chosen as testers for apps and games if, they're like flooded with so many or something. And, I just think that really needs to happen. And I'm sure I probably missed something else that I think really needs to happen, but like, of all the things, that's probably the biggest one. Because, that takes it to a whole new level. Suddenly it's not like some exclusive thing, and like, you'll notice a lot of stuff on the shop, on the DSi shop, some of it is like really good, but then you got some stuff that's like terrible, like absolutely terrible. And, it's kind of a shame because there isn't that huge a variety. Like, also, if there were tons and tons of apps and stuff, you'd suddenly get more reviewers too. And so then more people would know what's good and bad. Because I reviewed a lot of stuff, but I can only review so much, I only have the time to do so much. Now, it would be awesome if someday I could review everything in the shop. But let's face it, that's probably not going to happen. So, like, what I'm saying here is it would really only do good for Nintendo. You'd have people making their apps, you'd have, them telling other people about it. Some people would buy the 3DS simply because of apps and games and stuff. Because that's what a lot of people buy, like an iTouch for, an iPod Touch. That's all they will do. They'll just get a bunch of like apps and games. The iPod Touch pretty much became like a handheld gaming system. I mean, you're getting like actual games on that. Like, my friend has Nazi Zombies on that, the popular Call of Duty minigame. And then I think they remade Final Fantasy 1 and I think also 2 for it. And you got all sorts of other really popular games that, started out and kind of pretty much went viral, and they're just really popular. Of course you got like Angry Birds and Doodle Jump, but you got all sorts of games. Like, pretty much every game you can think of. And, I really don't know what to say. I just think that would be great. And so, well, I guess that's kind of it. So if you like this video, please rate, comment, subscribe, and send this to your friends. But most importantly, send this to your friends. Like, send this to lots of people. Because this is what needs to happen. This is almost like demands. My demands to Nintendo. Like, Nintendo should do this. Because, well, they should. It'll be great, I'm sure it would boost sales by a lot. And you'd have plenty of people who'd want to join, like, the developer program. I mean, I think Apple's was, I believe I mentioned, $100 a year or something like that. And that is a bit of money, but that's not too bad or anything. Maybe I'd even join the program and try and make my own apps or games or something. Maybe. Just maybe, if they did something like that. And so just spread this around as much as you possibly can. especially nearing like 3DS release dates and stuff, and announcements and whatever you can, because the more people see this, the more likely it is that Nintendo might happen to see it. And you know what would also be great is if you made a video. You can post it as a video response, or you don't have to, just of your own opinions. And I don't really know what else to say. Like, just do it, basically. Because if Nintendo notices this stuff, it's very possible that they might actually do it, So I guess that's about it, and I will see you guys next time with more news or review.